What's going on, kinfolk? Welcome back to Real Talk Thursday. Today, we're going to talk about online dating. This is going to be the online dating update. Because as you know, if you didn't see that video, go watch it now. The little info box will be up there somewhere, and the link will be in the description box so you can watch that. But JERRILYN said that she was going to get on, what was it?
OkCupid.
And Facebook dating. And see how her dating journey goes. So we're going to talk about that. If you want to see that, then keep on watching.
So, first let me start by saying I didn't even follow my own directions.
Oh no.
Because I did OkCupid and I never did Facebook dating.
What?
It's like every time I would go to like set it up, something would happen where I would get distracted or whatever. Up until like 2 days ago, and I was like, well, I'm getting ready to update the kinfolk, so I'm not even going to do it.
No, that just means we need a part 3.
Is that what that means?
Yes.
Well, I don't know, because this update is going to be pretty rough, so hold on to your bloomers. Because it was not pretty. It was a low down dirty monkey with a wig on. Let me know in the comments if you know what that reference is from. So I did OkCupid, and let me tell you what I liked about it.
Okay.
I like that it has the percentages.
I like that too.
So if you are not familiar with OkCupid, it gives you the ability to answer a ton of questions, as many or as few as you want to answer. And then based on your answers, they take other men or whoever you're looking for, and they give you a percentage of matches that you guys have of the same answers. And it will have like 3 little boxes. It tells you all the questions that you agreed on, all the questions that you disagreed on, and then if they answered additional questions that you didn't answer, you can go and answer those and see if you guys are even more of a match or less of a match.
Oh.
So I really liked that. So I did like that because I feel like it lets you get like a really good snapshot of what you have in common with that person.
Yeah.
Hopefully if they were honest
Right.
with their answers. But that is where the enjoyment ended.
Oh, no.
She will have something to say.
Yeah. She wants to. Do you want to talk about your online dating experience?
So let me tell you guys what my experience was. And actually, as of this morning, I deleted my account. Or I didn't delete it because actually the app was glitching. I think they were trying to stop me from deleting. But I like shut my account off so that it's not visible. I still have the account, but like no one can see me or search for me or anything like that. But if I log back into it, and then I guess it reactivates. But I got probably a good maybe 80 or 90 people that like clicked the like button, so that liked me. And this was in a span of, I want to say it was 4 weeks, about 4 weeks since we first started the challenge that I downloaded the app. And when I tell you guys, the candidate pool
Oh shoot.
was either people who looked like serial killers, people, and when I say people, I mean guys, because I'm a straight woman who's looking for guys who look like they like guys, or guys who look like they want to somehow put you in as a part of their scam for their foreign land. So a lot of the people I didn't even click on. You know, I was just like swiping left. I swiped left so much. My little finger, I will have to like put it in like a little finger splint because I was like, oh, my poor finger. It was just like
Oh, poor thing.
flashback to I'm doing this again. Y'all remember this from the last video? I'm still swiping. And interestingly enough, the people that I liked or swiped right on or whatever, I would say only a few of them liked me back. And of the ones who liked me back, it was like, okay, we both like each other, but then they would never message or like introduce, or it's like, okay, I know you're active on the app because I liked you, you liked me. And I'm always on the fence in terms of what constitutes a first move and who should make the first move. Should it be the guy? Should it be the girl? So I'm like, okay, if you see my profile and you like it, the least that you can do is say hello. Because Snaggletooth Randy and One-Eyed Charlie are saying, hello, my beautiful queen. So, you know, but it was
Did someone really say that?
Yes, absolutely. Someone asked if they could take me to dinner at the casino. Oh, man.
Casino? How do you feel about...
I shouldn't have deleted the app so early because I should have read y'all some of the comments.
So how do you feel about somebody calling you their beautiful queen?
I don't mind it. I think it's corny. I mean, it's corny, but it doesn't offend me or anything like that. And I'll tell you guys what does offend me. I had a couple of people that were like, would call me like pet names. And
like, sweetie,
I don't like it. I feel like if you don't know a person, you shouldn't say, hey, love.
Yeah, I agree.
How you doing, love? Okay, sweetheart, just let me know. Like, I mean, that's a little personal. Now, I know some people call people honey and sugar and baby, and to each their own. Like, I just don't like that, and I don't do that. In a way, I feel like it's disrespectful. When you don't know someone,
I just feel
unless you're an adult talking to a child,
right. I feel like it just makes it meaningless. I don't like sweetheart and honey.
Yeah, I don't
I
like
feel like
love.
It's condescending.
I don't like when someone's like, "Good morning, love." Like, that's something that I feel like you would say to someone you're in a relationship with.
I don't even
know you.
Love me. I'm not your
love. So to know that you would just throw it around like that.
Exactly.
It's like what in the world. So but yes, I did have someone that was like, let me take you to a casino dinner, and I was like,
casino?
I think he was Indian, like from India.
Oh, okay.
Now let me tell you guys the funniest story that happened. So there was one guy, and I mean one lonely soul out of these bunches of people that was pretty consistent with contacting me. And I got to a point where I was like, I think I might go on a date with this gentleman because at least he's been consistent, he's been contacting, whatever. He was an African, native African person. And I sometimes I don't know how to feel about that because, obviously Africa is an entire continent. But depending on where someone is from in Africa, sometimes the stereotype can be that different people are a certain way.
Right.
That act a certain way from different, Nigerians, and these people are where if you're from South, And I don't really know all the ins and outs. Like, so I was like, I better find out, something about this person. But when you're doing online dating, I will say the biggest difference between online dating and maybe meeting people any other way, you don't really know who their mutual friends are. So you don't really have a way to even try to like vet their character or anything. Right. It's like you just out here. I don't know if you catfishing or anything.
Right.
So I put a post on my Facebook, which I think you saw.
Yes, I did see that. Yep.
And I asked my ladies on Facebook, like, hey, I know some of y'all are some hardcore investigators. Some of y'all are better than FBI, CIA, Men in Black, and everything combined. And I'm not really that good at stuff like that. So I was like, I need someone to find out who this man is and tell me something about him before I decide to go on a date with him.
Oh my gosh, what did you find
And the results are in. And Mari said, you are a lie. So.
Really? I don't know any of this, by the way.
No, this is new. This is breaking information for the Kim folks. When I tell you, these ladies have pulled up your basic public record stuff, like traffic tickets, stuff like that, all the way to somebody done pulled up an obituary. No lie. So, those of you who have ever been to a funeral or ever seen an obituary program from a funeral home, when someone passes away, they list in there who they are survived by. Yeah. Okay? So they'll say this person is survived by their sister Sally. And if there's a name in parentheses next to Sally, that is Sally's husband. Okay?
Oh, God.
Are y'all feeling where I'm going? You smell it when I'm stepping in. So this person that had reached out to me was in parentheses next to someone's name. And this obituary was from December 2019. So that just lets you know that he is a married man, or at the very best, giving him license to say, well, maybe they just got divorced. But if you're that freshly divorced, right, I don't want to talk to you. So then from that discovery, we worked backwards. Me and this young lady on Facebook. Shout out to you. You know who you are. And we started looking up the names of the other family members in the obituary on Facebook to see if we could find some information on these pages, because this particular gentleman did not have a Facebook page, or if he had it under another name or something, I don't know. So I did end up finding his wife's page. Now, we aren't friends, obviously. I don't know this lady. So sometimes on Facebook, when you're not someone's friend, you can't see anything on their page that maybe they haven't set to public. So I couldn't see anything on her page that was recent. So it didn't really give me too much to go on, but I did see pictures of her and him together, so I knew that I had the right person.
Oh my gosh. I want to see this.
Oh my God. Was just the most bizarre. It ended up being like a very fun process just to be like, good God, like, y'all are really out here investigating. I want to know if any of you kin folks have investigated someone that you've met, like online dating or anything like that. And just tell me in the comments, like, what you did and what you found, because it was, like, so interesting.
I bet it was.
I would never think, I mean, you know, the most I've ever done, which I really haven't dated a lot because I was married and I was after I got divorced, I was in a long-term relationship. So my dating experience in the era of social media has been very, like, measly. Yeah. So I do like a search on Facebook. Maybe do you know, if I find a profile or whatever, but I've never done anything like that. So needless to say, dude, from all appearances, was married. And to me, that's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to know. I didn't respond to him. I didn't say, hey, it looks like you're married. Are you married? Because I'm like, I'm not going to give you an opportunity to lie.
Right.
At this point, I don't even care.
Consider telling his wife?
No, I wouldn't. Mainly because, like I said, her page, I couldn't see anything recent. She didn't have, in the obituary program, her last name was hyphenated. So whatever her name, maiden name would be, and then his last name. But on her Facebook page, it was not hyphenated. And it didn't show with his last name. So I wouldn't want to do that because I really am not sure.
Right.
I mean, they could be recently divorced. And some people separate and they don't get legally divorced, and they are both okay with that, and they're both okay with going their separate ways, and they start dating. I actually did that when I divorced my ex-husband. I mean, we were not living together, we were completely not together, but our divorce just took a long time. I mean, I didn't know how long divorces take. I thought it was going to be like, oh, we get divorced, and it's woo. I mean, I had planned a divorce trip with my girlfriends to Vegas and everything. Yeah. And a whole year after that, I think the whole process for us took a year and a half to almost 2 years.
That's a long time.
So I started dating my son's dad, which is the person I had the long-term relationship with, when I was still legally married to my ex-husband, because our divorce was not finalized yet. Yeah. So I understand, and I'm not saying if it's right or wrong or whatever. It's however you feel about it. Now, I probably, like, looking back, I probably wouldn't do that again. And I wouldn't necessarily want to date anyone who was in that situation. Because if you don't really know a person, now, luckily, me and my son's dad, we knew each other enough to know he knew that we were really not together. And because I had known him from even long before. But if it's someone that you don't know, they really could tell you anything and never have any intention on getting divorced. And you have now fallen in love with them, and they done sold you beachfront property in Idaho. And so what do you do at that point? So needless to say, like I said, the only guy who was pretty consistent with contacting me and I'll treat you like a queen and whatever else ended up being married.
This is the Indian guy.
This is the African guy.
Oh, the African
The Indian guy was
okay.
casino dinner.
Okay.
He was going to take me to the seafood buffet.
I just don't get it. Like, I just don't there are so many liars in this world.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
For
I
sure.
don't understand. Like, why?
I mean, I don't know.
Why?
It's unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary.
But people do it for lots of different reasons. Some reasons are almost like, okay, I can see that. And then most reasons are like, but you didn't have to lie, though.
Right.
So it is what it is. I have decided I don't think there's anything wrong with online dating. And even when I was deactivating my profile or whatever, they ask you, well, oh, we're sad to see you leave. You know, the app. Okay, Cupid. Okay, would you mind telling us, like, why are you leaving? And I said, really, I enjoyed the app. I think the app is intuitive and user-friendly, and I like the way it's set up and all that stuff. There's little crystal balls that find out more. Ooh, yeah, this is fun. I'm like, but the dating pool or the pool of guys that was on there was just terrible. And I'm like, but that's not OK Cupid's fault. That's freaking Midwest, Indianapolis, Indiana's fault.
Right. So, okay, would you say that your experience on Bumble was better?
I feel like the pool of men on Bumble was better when we were in Dallas.
Dallas did have a lot of different options.
Dallas had
it was way different.
Sexual chocolate. Like, they really did.
Very different.
So
would you give that another chance? Like, if you like were out of town, like when you go out of town, like would you have reactivated and see what's around?
If I was going out of town without my kids.
Well, obviously you wouldn't be able to go on dates, but you could be introduced to somebody and then, you know, start some type of conversation.
I mean, I'm not interested in a long distance relationship in any way, shape, or form. I mean, if I need a pen pal, I'll just...
That's fair. I feel that.
I'll just get a pen pal at the prison.
Oh God, please don't do that.
Look, they probably would be like ride or die, ride or kill,
like a queen
kill or steal.
Letters, okay. Then they'll use you to get the money to get out. And then, that actually happened to a client of mine.
Really?
She ended up knowing, I think she knew his sister, and she got into a relationship with him. He was in prison. They I forgot how long they dated, like years. And they were so madly in love, and he proposed, and she had his name tattooed on her several places, and she gave him so much freaking money for, was it commissary?
I don't know. Is that where they put it? You know, they always say put money on my books.
Yeah.
In the movie.
I think it's is it commissary? I forgot. But then he ended up getting out, so she went and drove and picked him up. And she also gave him a lot of money. I'm talking thousands of dollars over the years. Tens of thousands.
That's always a bad choice.
Right. So, but they were together for forever, and they were so happy, blah, 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 blah. So then he gets out, she goes, picks him up, she brings him back home, they're just hanging out or whatever. He goes, I'm just gonna go out for a walk, it's so nice out, I'm gonna get some fresh air. Never came back.
He done assumed a whole nother identity.
Yeah.
Probably had somebody pick him up at the corner. He had an Uber waiting.
Crazy, right?
Drove off into the sunset.
I don't get that. But anyway.
Obviously, online dating 100% can work.
Yeah.
And I have appreciated those of you kinfolk who have followed me on Instagram and have inboxed me your stories of success, because I did get some of you guys saying, like, I met my husband online,
yes.
and here's this. And, like, that was very, very encouraging. So
that actually is what got me to give it a try.
Yeah. So don't get me wrong. I think it's fine. I just think maybe for the time I'm at in my life right now, it's just not for me.
That's fair. So
I'm just taking a different approach. All you super saints, lean in close. I am doing strategic prayer about my future husband, and more so just because, and I've always like been someone who's worked on myself and worried about myself and worried about my kids and worried about my family. So I'm not out here. I don't want, some of y'all can be little negative Nancy's. So it's not like I'm like, oh my God, I just need a husband, because I feel like the first thing people say when they see, especially a single woman, is like, you know, don't be so thirsty and don't be so desperate for me, and just wait for God to send, and God just gonna drop him out of the sky. He's just gonna come Uber Eats.
Exactly.
Like God wants us to have a hand in the process. Right. You can't just be like, all right, oh, he broke into my house, he climbed in the window.
Right.
So I'm all about putting yourself out there, being approachable, and all of that. I just feel like maybe God is trying to teach me a different type of lesson right now. And I feel like he's doing a lot with me through my prayer life and through things that he shows me in other types of ways. Yeah. So I'm really just like praying, and I'm like, you know, I'm praying for my future husband, and not even to find him. I'm praying for him. I pray that he be strengthened. I pray that he is focused on God and in his purpose. And I pray that God keeps his heart softened to know that there is another chance at love, and that there's someone out there who, you know, he'll have a better experience with than maybe he's had in the past, and all that stuff. I'm just praying for him, and I'm praying that God opens both of our eyes to know whenever we meet each other.
And timing is everything. So right now you might be feeling that way, but the Lord might prompt you in 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get back on. And
I thought you were going to say years. 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
Months.
Because you guys know I have kids, and my kids are getting older. My oldest daughter is going to high school next year. So I'm trying to think just like timing wise. Okay, but my youngest is only in 2nd grade. My youngest is 8. So I'm trying to think, okay, whenever it happens, I'm open to it no matter what the timetable is. But do I want to wait until even he's a little older? I don't know. There's a lot that I'm thinking about with the whole process. So I don't know, but I do trust the Lord, and I actually feel very hopeful, very optimistic, because I know that there are a lot of good men out there. I'll tell you guys another funny story, which didn't have anything to do with online dating. It was actually a person that I met while I was out and about at a fancy black tie event that I went to.
Somebody there.
Yeah, I met somebody there.
What happened?
I was at a black tie gala for the healthcare network that I work for, and I was there as a volunteer. So I was dressed also in formal wear. There was a silent auction that was going on, and I was there just mingling with the guests, but you kind of have like a little thing that lets people know if they have questions they can ask you. So I was just walking around, and I would stand in certain places and just greet people and say hello. And one of the security gentlemen walked up to me, and for some reason, at this time in my life, I get approached by people who lack like dental hygiene. So it's either a missing tooth, a dead tooth, or a gold tooth.
No.
He had either 2 of the 3. Now I can't remember which ones. It might have been like half was missing and the other half that was there was dead. But I digress. So he walks up to me and he says, you know, like, hey, standing here. Oh, it looks like an easy job, just standing here. I'm like, yeah, and I love people, and I like talking to people, so I'm very friendly. So I'm not shading the dude at all. I'm talking to him, and of course, then we get to, so you from here? Yep, I'm from here. Indianapolis, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days. And he starts, asking me questions where I know what he's getting ready to ask. I'm just like, and I'm looking at him, and he's not attractive. He's not attractive. Taco meat beard. I mean, it was bad. And I'm like, he's like, so you got a husband? And I'm like, I'm really here almost in like a work capacity, so I'm not really here for that. Thank you for asking. So then he changed his tactic. He was nothing if not persistent. I'll give him that. He was like, maybe I can impress her with my business acumen. Yeah. So this gala that I was at, fortunately enough, Miss Diana Ross, the Diana Ross, was performing, and I got to see her in all of her black girl magic, and it was amazing. But he was letting me know, well, we're in charge of getting Miss Ross, from her area to the stage, and got to get her there safely. Special secret ops, And I'm like, oh,
he didn't do that, did he?
No.
Okay, I was like, okay.
In my mind, I'm like, anything to make this more interesting. So I was giving him all sorts of I turned him into a whole movie character. And I'm like, oh, that's great. Well, maybe you'll get to talk to her and stuff. Like, that's cool because she's like a living legend. And he's like, yeah, the mayor of our city, and the mayor's going to be here too. And we got to get him, So what's going to happen is his car service is going to pull up in the back. And I'm going to go get him from the back.
He said it just like that too. I can see it.
And we're going to bring him in that door. We got to bring him up this way because he wants to talk to Miss Ross too. So we're going to take him in. And when I tell you, he laid out the whole entry and exit plan for the mayor of our city, which I'm feeling like security does.
I was gonna say, it's probably against the rules.
You done failed your whole job description. And I said, well, luckily I wasn't trying to rob the mayor or attack the mayor because you pretty much laid it all out there for me. He was like, oh, no, I know you wouldn't do that. And it's like,
you don't know me, player.
It's the ones that you don't suspect if they're any good. And a lot of times that's why women make good criminals. Because people are checking for the dudes. And while we use our little feminine wiles to sneak in and sneak out.
If that's not a red flag.
Now I slipped a Mickey in the mayor's drink.
Right? Right? I mean, real talk, though. There's some people who would do that.
Because an old school player from the Himalayas done told me everything that I needed to know.
Wow.
So, crazy. It was all bad. So, clearly, my online experience has paralleled my real life experience. And it's all bad.
I reject that in Jesus' name.
So, I've never dated someone that I didn't already know before. So, with my ex-husband, he is from another city. And he had moved here, and his family started going to the church that I was attending at the time. I was 18 at that time. And he's a musician, so I was in the youth choir, and he was over our youth choir. And so we ended up getting to know each other that way over a period of time, and then started dating, and then got, married. And then my son's dad, my family and his family have known each other for just my whole life. His sisters that are much older than him grew up with my mom and my aunt. So I knew, and he's just younger than them by a good 15 years or so. So I had already known them. So I knew he was good people. I knew his whole family and all of that. And those are the only two relationships that I've been in my adult life. So, some of you guys may also know that I started a Christian singles group on Facebook. You heard us talk about that. And,
that's been actually really successful, though.
I feel I want to tell a story, but I'm not
Girl, tell it.
Okay. And I'm going to tell this story, and this is no shade to the parties involved because I want everybody to win.
You actually have a few stories to tell.
Yeah, I do.
About that group.
Oh, man. You know what? I feel like I should feel more negative about my experiences than I do because they've all been terrible.
But they're funny. Like, they're funny stories.
They
so
are
when you
funny
look back,
stories.
when you are in that God-ordained relationship,
Yes.
you're gonna be able to really laugh and be like, oh my gosh, I've been through. But it shows that you have a mature perspective on it and that you're not tripping.
I had to kiss a lot of frogs, toads, geckos. And all of the above. But I will say, even going that route, I kind of tried to pull a community of Christian single people together to give people a chance to have community, to go out, hang out, no pressure, get to know people, and if a date comes out of that, fantastic.
And it was a great group.
It was a great group. And I've kind of stalled on it a little bit over the last few months, like starting with the holidays, because you know that's such a busy time, and then now once we found out that we were moving and everything like that, I just have so much going on right now that I really haven't done it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to start it back up here as the weather breaks. But there was one particular gentleman that it started off kind of promising with that whole situation. And I was like, okay, like this could be like a really cool situation. But it also ended in I made what I thought was a very thoughtful gesture to this gentleman around the time of his birthday. And I made sure that he's from like a state down south. He's not from here, so doesn't have a lot of people here. And I wanted to make sure his birthday was special, yada, yada, yada. I would do it again because that's just the person that I am, so I don't regret it. But, so, I don't know if he got caught up in the moment. And I told him, I was like, don't get caught up in the moment. Just tell me how you really feel. It's okay. Like, you're not beholden to feel a certain way about someone because they take you to a fancy restaurant. Right. Like, come on, y'all. We're grown adults. But he was like, no, yeah, well, I want to try and I want to see where this can go and all this other stuff. And I'm like, all right, okay. Y'all know what that is? That's Casper the Friendly Ghost. Ghosted. Now here's the rub.
We should do a whole video on ghosting.
Here's the rub. I took that one pretty hard when it happened because it was really the first time after me being single that I was like, okay, I'm going to kind of put myself out there and kind of put my heart out there. And for it to end the way that it ended, and this is I don't feel any negative feelings towards this young man. It was just hard for me because I put myself out there. And I think it's always hard, like that first time when you're like, okay, let me dip my toe back into the water.
So vulnerable. And it's kind of breaking the rules.
Yeah.
So it's like, even though I'm not, like, I used to be huge on the rules, but now it's just like, you know what, whatever. But the rules still kind of play a role in your mind. So when you're actually, no, girl, you're not supposed to go buy a man a nice dinner. You're not supposed to. And you did the things that you're not supposed to do. You made yourself super vulnerable. Yeah. And then just a slap in the face.
Right. And I feel like you have to know what your intentions are for anything that you do. So I felt like it was coming from a good place. And it was not our first date or anything. We had been out before. But it was the first thing that I was going to pay for, and it was like a grand gesture in terms of we went to like a nice place. But anywho, so it was what it was. We didn't talk for a while, like I said, because he kind of ghosted me. He did see me one day a little while after that, and he did apologize, like to his credit. I understand we all do things sometimes that we look back and we're like, I was not proud of how I handled that situation. So he did apologize, which did also make me feel a little better. You know how they say, it's not you, it's me, like that.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay, rip my eyeballs out. But I had a little bit of a complex around that whole situation because you guys know I'm a single mom. So dating as a single mom can be kind of challenging because you're not sure if some men are funny about that. Yeah. I feel like women are very open to dating guys with kids. And some men are too, but some men are like dead set against it. Like, I don't want this woman.
They could have a kid and still be dead set
against it. Absolutely. Yeah. So I wasn't sure in the back of my mind, like, well, maybe it was just too much for him. But then, in the turn of events, he ended up getting with a lady who is a wonderful, wonderful person from everything I can see. She's someone that I kind of know, like an acquaintance. I don't know her very well. But similar age as me. She actually I have 3 kids. I think she has 4.
Oh, really? I didn't realize she had 4.
I thought that she had 2.
Okay.
But then I think I saw something on Facebook where I was like, oh, she either has 3 or 4. But like, again, I said, no shade to her. She is a wonderful person. She deserves every good thing because she's really out here doing her thing. So then I'm like, okay, so calculator. Not adding up. So maybe it really was me. Like, could you just tell me, like, hey, we're not, I don't know. So moral of the story is, so far, no matter how I've met someone, it has not gone well. So yeah, but you know, to each his own. I'm happy. They're actually getting married.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember you told me that.
So this was a year, like 1 year ago. So in the time that I got ghosted, Casper, the friendly ghost, flew and found someone and has already proposed. So, you know, look at God. Everybody's timing ain't the same.
Everybody's timing is not the same.
So now, luckily, and I wish them all the best. You guys obviously know Shanna is in a relationship. One of my other best friends is also in a relationship. So my girl gang that was once all single with me.
Yeah.
And we got to be honest. That can be a difficult transition.
Yeah.
When you have a group of girls and y'all all doing y'all thing. Y'all been singing, yeah, come on. We don't need,
right.
We out here living our best life. And then one by one.
That's true.
They start getting booed up, and then you looking around like, I'm living okay.
I'm by myself.
I'm over here.
Wait a minute, there's nobody here. Where's the music? Wait,
exactly. Even the DJ got a boot. I ain't even got a DJ no more.
Oh,
so, however, when the people around you are getting blessed, it just means that God is in your neighborhood. Yeah. He's getting close to you. So, like I said, I feel hopeful. I'm not in any rush to get in a relationship, but I 100% know that is my heart's desire, because I feel like the Lord has taken me through a lot that has really built me to be someone's wife.
Yeah. And you really, like, I have to say, just in the time that we've been hanging out, like, your perspective has shifted a lot. Like a whole lot. And it's exciting to see because,
thank you.
Like, I feel like God is opening up so many different doors in different areas, which are almost like setting the stage. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to see what God's going to do, because it's going to be beautiful. But the whole online dating thing is just, you know, it's a character building experience.
For sure. And I feel like I've learned a lot, and we'll see. We'll just see where it goes. I definitely will keep you guys posted, and y'all will probably be the first to know what is going on. If you care so much about my love life, I will certainly keep you tuned in.
Yeah. I mean, dating is tough.
Yeah.
And relationships are tough. Like, even if you're in a relationship, it's tough.
Yeah.
So, like, it's sharing the process, and I think being real, open, and vulnerable, which is what I did. Like, I told them initially that I was gonna, which, thank God, it only took one date for me. But, like, I was gonna be completely open, and it just, I don't know. People just want to know that they're not alone, and that it's not them. Because I think that when you're online dating and things don't go well, people automatically go, "What's wrong with me?"
For sure.
You know, it's nothing wrong with you. What's wrong with this world? We're in such a corrupt world with a bunch of liars, and it's hard to sift through all the BS.
Yeah.
So
everyone
I think it's cool that
has
you're
their
sharing
own
that.
baggage and
Yeah.
things that have caused them to be broken.
Yeah.
And people deal with it usually in the best way that they know how.
Yeah.
And sometimes that ain't a good way if they haven't
Yeah.
learned anything better, or maybe even if they don't have a relationship with the Lord. I'll tell you one thing that's interesting before we wrap this cookie up. On the online dating app, of all the questions that they asked that the men could answer, I was very shocked by how many men answered no to the question, do you feel like men should be the head of the household?
Really?
A lot of guys were answering no. It was easily 40%.
I don't remember that question.
It was easily 40% of the guys that I saw that answered that particular question said no, they do not feel like the man should be the. That was an immediate. I'm swiping left all day.
But I feel like a lot of men probably don't want to turn women off.
Yeah.
So they answer no because they don't want women to automatically think that they're controlling.
That's true.
But I
didn't think about it that deep. I had already swiped left, and I was like, no.
Right. I feel like though that like if you are strong in your walk with the Lord, you understand that like I'm going to answer this honestly, yes.
Yeah.
And the right woman will understand what that means.
100%. Because you can put little comments in there too if you want to clarify, because everything is not a cut and dry yes or no. So I feel like 100% I agree with you. I would rather someone answer honestly than to lie to try to make themselves more appealing, because then to me that's a character issue.
Yeah. Right. Absolutely.
So
absolutely. You should have seen what my profile said.
Shanna was like, if you're not serious about Jesus,
then
you better
keep it moving. Like literally one of the first questions that I asked Travis.
Your voice does not sound
before
like
we I hope not. But when we were chatting in Bumble was, do you love Jesus?
Yeah.
And he goes, yes, I love Jesus. I think it's funny that you asked me that. I said, no. Like, do you for real love? Like, do you live for Jesus? Like, I don't want somebody who just loves Jesus. I want somebody who literally lives their life for the Lord.
Yeah.
And so I asked those questions. But I knew there was a chance that he would never talk to me again because of that. But I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't care. Bye.
Yeah, there were a lot that were, it asks you, like, how important is God in your life or whatever. And a lot of people were like, there were 3 options of answers. Very important, somewhat important, or not important at all. The only answer I would accept would be very important. Because how can God be somewhat important?
Right.
So yeah, but anyway, that's a whole thing to another thing. And like I said, to each his own. Everyone has their own journey. You just have to know what you want, and you just have to be willing to be patient enough to have that person that you want, so that you don't feel like you're lowering your standards. Or
absolutely,
like that.
And a lot of women do that. Like, don't lower your standards for any man.
I've 100% done it.
I'm sure I probably did in the past too.
I was like, how low can you go? Hey, can you go down low? All the way to the floor. How low can you go? Like,
you're so dumb.
But now we're here. Sometimes you live and you learn, and that's what it is.
Oh my God, that's so funny. That's real talk, though.
Yeah, I don't have no sense. But so there will be no more online dating updates for you guys. At least not unless some clouds part and the Lord says, please get on Black People Meet or something like that. Other than that, I'm just going to stick with what I know. I'm going to stay in service to God, and I'm just going to focus on my children and my career. And you guys know we're starting a channel next month, my children and I. So be on the lookout for that come April. If you are not following me on Instagram, please follow me at JD_mom of3. And it's not super exciting right now, But some of you guys know I've mentioned before we're prepping to move. So once we move and we get settled, I'm gonna hit it pretty hard. I've been doing a lot of pre-planning and stuff like that behind the scenes.
Photo shoots.
And we gonna do photo shoots.
So we can get some content.
So it's gonna be fun. So if you guys are wanting to join into my crazy life with my kids who are equally as crazy as I am, please follow so that you can subscribe to our channel once it starts.
The link will be in the description box. And here is her, I'll put her name on the screen, her Instagram name on the screen, and then I'll also link it in the description box, so all you have to do is click on it and it'll take you straight there. So,
all right, guys. Well, I think that's it for this update. Make sure you tune into the next Real Talk Thursday. It's going to be another good topic.
Yes.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
See you next time.
Watching. Give us a thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.